Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We continue Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, Chapter 12, Dhruva Maharaj goes back to Godhead, text 43. Okay. Yashatrabandhu bhuvitasya dhirudam
Yakshatrabandhu bhuvitasya dhirudam
Anvarukshad api varsha pugai
Anvarukshad api varsha pugai
Satpancha varsho yad aho biralpai
Satpancha varsho yadaho biralpai
Prasadya vaikuntam avapatatpadam
Prasadya vaikuntam avapatatpadam.
Dhruva Maharaj attained an exalted position at the age of only 5 or 6 years after undergoing austerity for 6 months. Alas, a great Kshatriya cannot achieve such a position even after undergoing austerities for many, many years. As a little boy, he wasn't even a Kshatriya, but even then he could do it. So therefore, Narad Muni is praising his disciple Dhruva Maharaj. 5, 6 years old he could do it. And he said even great Kshatriyas who have been trained, they can't do these things. So this is a special personality. Dhruva is very special. And then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, towards the end, the lesson from the life of Dhruva Maharaj is that if one likes, one can attain Vaikuntha Loka in one life without waiting for many other lives. My Guru Maharaj, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, used to say that every one of his disciples could attain Vaikuntha Loka in this life without wasting for another life to execute devotional service. One simply has to become as serious and sincere as Dhruva Maharaj. Then it is quite possible to attain Vaikuntha Loka and go back home, back to Godhead in one life. Alright? And the example Srila Prabhupada gives in the purport is King Bharat. He was doing properly, he could have gone back, but what was happening was he became distracted by a deer. And then after that he died trying to take care of the deer, and then he became a deer himself. Then after that deer life he became Jada Bharat. And then he went back to God. So there was 3 lives. So Prabhupada is saying, that we shouldn't waste too many lives because it becomes difficult. Right? We may get a body which may be very difficult to execute Krishna consciousness. Text 44. Maitreya vacha etate vihitam sarvam Krishtoham nihatvaya Dhruvasyodhama yasashash Charitam sammatam satam. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, whatever you have asked from me about the great reputation and character of Dhruva Maharaja, I have explained to you in all detail. Great saintly persons and devotees very much like to hear about Dhruva Maharaj. In the purport, Prabhupada says, Srimad Bhagavatam means everything in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whether we hear the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Lord, or we hear about the character, reputation and activities of His devotees, they are all one and the same. So even when we listen to devotees in the Bhagavatam, it is connected to Krishna. Therefore, the benefit is the same. Okay? The devotees of Krishna and Krishna's pastime are just as equally potent. So therefore Prabhupada says they are all one and the same. And so what should we do? So Prabhupada says neophyte devotees simply try to understand the pastimes of the Lord and are not very interested in hearing about the activities of his devotees. Right? So everyone only wants to hear Krishna Leela and stuff like that. but they don't want to know about Dhruva Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj like that. But he says it's important. We have to listen to all this. But such discrimination should not be indulged in by any real devotee. So we should also take our time to read about the devotees of Krishna like that. So that will make us become expert.
That is like the Srimad Bhagavatam only, right? Devotees, about the devotees of Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam is the one.
Yeah, Prabhupada is emphasizing the importance of Bhagavatam here. But it could be pastime also, like Srila Prabhupada, Leela, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Thakur, like that. So we should also hear about devotees like that. Okay? So generally, people who don't understand the scriptures or the reason behind why the scripture is written in a certain way, they are only interested in things that they like to hear. And so Prabhupada mentions that such persons only like to hear Krishna's pastime in the Rasa Lila. Because they are, in their consciousness is like that. They want to dance with woman, or woman wants to dance with man. Like the Dandiya, right? They play. So you can see, in such circumstances they like to go and dance because they can do nonsense. So Prabhupada says that's the only thing they are interested in. They are not interested in the other activities of Krishna. So as devotees, he says we should become serious about Bhagavatam and read all the chapters and try to understand what Krishna is trying to tell us. Okay. So therefore he says, a sincere devotee should read every chapter and every word of Srimad Bhagavatam. For the beginning verses describe that it is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. Devotees should not try to avoid even a word of Srimad Bhagavatam. The great sage Maitreya therefore affirmed herein that the Bhagavatam is Sammatam Satam, approved by great devotees. So therefore Bhagavatam is very important. So every day you should read the Bhagavatam. Even if there's no class like this, you all should read daily. That's what it is. Prabhupada is emphasizing the importance.
One word should not skip. Even not one word should skip.
Yes. So, and read it, chapter by chapter like that. That's what Prabhupada is recommending. He's not saying you just jump from this and that. Sometimes people like to jump. In the beginning it's okay, but as you want to become serious, then you have to read chapter by chapter. Then you will understand what the whole idea behind the Bhagavatam is about. Otherwise we will never understand the significance of all the Bhagavatam itself. We will think it's just some story, and then we will listen to some unscrupulous person who will say this is all stories, the mythology. This is what the scholars are saying. And then many Indian people, they are agreeing, they are also saying now this is all mythology, but it's not. It's not a mythology. These are actual historical events from a devotional point of view. Okay? These are historical events from a devotional point of view. Okay? So text 45. Dhanyam yashasyam ayushyam punyam swastyayanam mahat sargyam dravyam saumanasyam prasasyam agamarsanam. By hearing the narration of Dhruva Maharaj, one can fulfill desires for wealth, reputation, and increased duration of life. It is so auspicious that one can even go to a heavenly planet or attain Dhruvaloka, which was achieved by Dhruva Maharaj, just by hearing about him. The demigods also become pleased because this narration is so glorious and it is so powerful that it can counteract all the results of one's sinful actions. So Maitreya Muni is like giving some benediction that if you hear nicely, you can get fame, you can get wealth, your life also will increase. And not only that, you can even go to Dhruvaloka, Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha plane. Huh?
Heavenly planet is Vaikuntha.
No, you can even go to heavenly plane if you are,
Inclined.
if you want to go. Okay. Simply by hearing that, you, if your desire is to go to Vaikuntha, I mean heavenly planet, you can go to heavenly planet. There you go. There's a lot of people here. Okay. Not only that, the demigods get very pleased when we are glorifying about Dhruva Maharaj. Okay, so if you are sinful and you listen to the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj, even that is also wiped out, cleansed. So therefore, it's so important. The pastimes in the Bhagavatam, so many different pastimes are like that. So you see, every time you listen, either Sutta Goswami or Sukadev Goswami or Maitreya Rishi or even Krishna or Narada, they all say if you follow, you get some benefit, and the benefit usually is spiritual. Of course, here Maitreya Muni is also saying you can get material benefit, because there are people who like to,
Then look for that.
they only want material benefit. But for us, we are not interested in this. So every one of them can hear the narration of Dhruva Maharaj, Prabhupada writes. Okay? And thus get their desired goal simply by listening to Dhruva Maharaj. Because why? Because it is connected to Krishna. And there's that verse, Akama Sarvakama Va Mokshakama Dharvi Pipinamati Yajati Purusham Varam. So whether you have desire, no desire, or desire for liberation, Sukadeva Goswami recommends that we should worship Krishna one-pointedly. You will get the benefits. Okay, so just like here, whether you want wealth, reputation, long life, or you want to go to heavenly planet, or even to Vaikuntha, just simply listen to Dhruva Maharaj's pastime and act on it. Then you will get the benefits. Okay?
Prabhu, I have a question for the
Yeah.
verse. How do we read Bhagavatam deeply? Like, not just like, how do we do it?
In the association devotee, you can go deep. If you are on your own, then you have to listen to lectures like that, and then you read, and then you get more understanding. And after that, you pray to the Bhagavatam, because the Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna himself, and say to reveal itself the secrets like that. Then you read, then it will be revealed. Because it's a reciprocation. You understand? Just how you reciprocate with the person, they also reciprocate. So if you reciprocate with Krishna deeply, then he also deeply will reciprocate with you. But if you say hi Krishna, he also say hi. That's it. Right? If you're not interested, then he is not interested. Like little children, don't friend me, okay, don't friend. It's like that. Very simple. Krishna's dealing is very simple. It's not complicated. We make the complication. We make the rules. Okay, I want 50%, and the other 50% I want to do my nonsense, Krishna. Krishna say, okay, do your nonsense first. We'll talk about the 50% afterwards. Right? It's like that. So yeah, if you want to go deep, you have to really respect the Bhagavatam, and then you meditate deeply, and then you read with great devotion. Anyone can do this. Okay? Anyone can do this. So all of us can do this. So my method is I usually listen to Prabhupada class, and then after that I listen to other devotees or refer to other devotees notes or like that, books or like that. Yeah. Because you want to understand the way Prabhupada wants us to understand. You don't understand your own way. Right? This is the parampara system. We don't want to have our own understanding. And so we train ourselves like that. Okay? Text 46. Shrutvaita Shradaya Bhikshnam Achyutta Priya Chestitam Bhaved Bhakti Bhagavati Yayasyat Klesha Shankshayah. Anyone who hears the narration of Dhruva Maharaja and who repeatedly tries with faith and devotion to understand his pure character attains the pure devotional platform and executes pure devotional service. By such activities one can diminish the threefold miserable conditions of material life. So Achyutta Priya, okay, because Dhruva is very dear to Achyutta. Okay. Therefore, it's good to read and discuss about Dhruva Maharaja's pastime. Okay. Very important. And also Prabhupada says, the Maitreya Rishi says, you have to repeatedly try to hear and understand this. Not just one time, oh I've done it. Right? Sometimes, oh I read it 10 years ago. Not like that. You have to, once you finish, go back and read. First canto, second canto, third, fourth, like that. Then come back again, first canto, second canto. Right. All through the life you should do. Somebody was telling me, you read one time, then you read again, then you read again, and then only you can say you read it. At least 3 times. I think Prabhupada said that, no? That this is how, right? Yeah, Prabhupada said that. 3 times you have to read. So if you only read it once, then you only 30% or 33%.
Hanumat Prasad Maharaj is reading every month one canto, right? I think.
Who?
Hanumat Prasad.
Yeah, he reads. Your Guru Maharaj also. He reads.
Monthly one canto. So first month, first
Yeah.
canto. 12 canto.
Right? There are some devotees who listen to all Prabhupada's lectures. Continuously every day they listen 3, 4, 5 hours. So within a month they go through all his lectures, and they've done it for many years. Yeah. So I've met some of them. It's just amazing. Huh? So Prabhupada writes at the end, to become a great devotee means to finish all miserable conditions of materialistic life. Means we don't want to have any connection with materialistic life. We want to have spiritual life. So therefore we must give up material life. We cannot keep saying or making excuses. Okay? We have to, as I said to you all last time, you have to prepare to give up when you get older and older. You cannot remain the same way. Alright? Look at yourself now and then look at yourself, try to look at yourself in 10 years. Ask yourself what you want to be in your devotional life. Then aim for it. Don't 10 years later you look back and say, I wish I had done this. Don't do that. Start doing now, then you will get some result at least. Shoot for the rhinoceros. Okay? The saying is. Okay? So try now, because anything can happen from now till 10 years, you don't know. So many situations can happen. World situation, economy can crash everything. But if you are focused, you will be okay.
We were telling always prepare for the Vanaprastha, right?
Yeah.
So I was just reflecting personally, we are little older and our kids are so small. So I was thinking how, by the time we are 50, they will be just 15, I think.
So you have to prepare.
That's why I was thinking what,
No, you have to make sure you have no choice. So they are now what? 1?
2 years.
2. So another 18 more years, 18, 19 years, you have to prepare to be with them. 20 years, put it that way. You have to allocate 20 years of your life for them. Make them Krishna conscious. That could be your Krishna conscious activity. And then when that's done, you should be ready to move on. That's what you should prepare. So you already know your plan. Yeah? Yeah. Text 47. Mahatvam icchatam tirtham.
Mahatvam icchatam tirtham.
Shrotu Shiladayo Gunaha Yatra Tejastad Ichunam Mano Yatra Manasvinam Anyone who hears this narration of Dhruva Maharaja acquires exalted qualities like him. For anyone who desires greatness, prowess or influence, here is the process by which to acquire them. And for thoughtful men who want adoration, here is the proper means. So whatever material things you are wanting, simply listening to Dhruva Maharaj pastime, you get it. But there's also a wonderful thing. By listening to that, you also get purified. Yeah, in the right way. Otherwise you will do worship demigods and other for this thing, avidya purvakam, in the wrong way, Krishna says. So do it in the right way. If you really want all the material things, worship Krishna, but do it so. But then Krishna will purify you. Yeah. So Prabhupada writes, all ambitions which are desirable for great persons can be fulfilled simply by reading and understanding the narration of Dhruva Maharaja's activities. You will become such a wonderful person simply by reading Dhruva Maharaja's pastimes. So not just once, many times. There are many pastimes in the Bhagavatam that will help every one of you. If you read, then you know where it is. If you don't know, then you don't know. Then you don't know what to do. To protect you, to do so many things, like the Narayan Kavacha, right? So many things. Like if somebody blasphemes you, you do some activity. So if whole village is telling you are the person who did bad, there's another pastime you remember, things like that. So many things. So like that. So therefore, this is one benediction that Maitreya Rishi is giving. Text 48.
So Prabhu, you are listening means attentively focused listening, right? Means with a sincere heart and open mind.
Yeah.
Not just like a material, like just sitting, but the mind is going somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure many times your mind is going to run. That's why you should keep listening and reading over and over again. Like, for example, now you read it one time. If I ask you some question, you may know some things, but not everything. Then you'll go back and say, oh, what else? Then you know some more things, but still not everything. Because that's how our Kali Yuga mind is. So you'll have to continuously keep hearing. So then you'll get more enlivened. Once you get enlivened, you become enthusiastic. And when you're enthusiastic, you will do this Krishna conscious activities happily. Otherwise you won't be. Text 48. Prayatha Ketayat Prata Samavaye Dvijanmana Sayam cha punya shlokasya Dhruvasya Charitam Maha. Great sage Maitreya recommended, one should chant of the character and activities of Dhruva Maharaja both in the morning and in the evening with great attention and care in a society of brahmanas or other twice born persons. So you hear, if there's no one, you just read loudly. There's nothing wrong. Because you can sit in front of your deities with the Guru Parampara and you can read, they are all listening. And they are giving you blessings for reading it. So don't feel that, oh, I have to like that. Okay. Prabhupada writes in the purport, right, to take association of advanced devotees, so that when we discuss the Srimad Bhagavatam, it makes more sense for us and we make advancement very quickly. Then he writes, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been organized for this purpose. In every center of this society, not only in the morning, evening or noon, but practically 24 hours a day, there's continuous devotional service going on. Anyone who comes in contact with the society automatically becomes a devotee. We have actual experience that many karmis and others come to the society and find a very pleasing and peaceful atmosphere in the temples of ISKCON. In this verse, the word Dvijanmanam means of the twice born. Anyone can join the International Society for Krishna Consciousness and be initiated to become twice born. As recommended by Sanatana Goswami, by the process of initiation and authorized training, any man can become twice born. The first birth is made possible by the parents, and the second birth is made possible by the spiritual father and Vedic knowledge. Unless one is twice born, one cannot understand the transcendental characteristics of the Lord and His devotees. Okay. Study of the Vedas is therefore forbidden for Shudras. Simply by academic qualifications, a Shudra cannot understand the transcendental science. At the present moment, throughout the entire world, the educational system is geared to produce Shudras. A big technologist is no more than a big Shudra. Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Yeah, they know nothing. They're just going to help you dig your graves. In the age of Kali, everyone is a Shudra. Because the whole population of the world consists only of Shudras, there is a decline of spiritual knowledge and people are unhappy. The Krishna consciousness movement has been started especially to create qualified Brahmanas to broadcast spiritual knowledge all over the world. For thus people may become very happy. So the whole idea is to help people. It's not to take advantage or exploit anybody. Okay, our system is to help people. So when you try to give people Krishna conscious, you must do it with the mood of service or helping them. Okay, very important. Not to exploit them. Okay, not to mislead them. That's not what Prabhupada gave us. Okay.
Or get into argument.
Or get into arguments. If they don't accept, that's fine. So thank them for coming or whatever. Text 49:50. Paurnamasyam sinivalyam Vadasyam shravane tava Dinakshaye vyatipate Sankrame arkadine piva Shavayachadadananam Tirthapada padashraya Nityam satratmanatmanam Santusta iti siddhyate. Persons who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord should recite this narration of Dhruva Maharaj without taking remuneration. Because they can foresee, all these sages, that these things are going to happen. It is happening anyway, but we shouldn't. As devotees, we shouldn't. We should do it for the benefit of others. Okay, specifically, recitation is recommended on the full moon or dark moon day. On the day after Ekadasi, on the appearance of the Shravana star at the end of a particular tithi, or the occasion of Vyatipata at the end of the month, or on Sunday, every Sunday. Such recitation should of course be performed before a favorable audience. When recitation is performed this way, without professional motive, the reciter and audience become perfect. There's a story like Gokarna, remember? How when he recited to a group of people and they all heard, and then his brother who was a ghost was also listening, and then after 7 days when he heard the full, he got liberated. Just like Shukadeva Goswami. Parikshit. Just like Shukadeva Goswami spoke.
Who got liberated? Ghost.
His brother,
Ghost.
Gokarna's brother. They were, in short, the whole story is, the father wanted to have a child, and then he went to the sages, and then they gave him a fruit and said, take this fruit and give it to your wife, and she will get a good son. So when he brought it to the wife was a nonsense lady. So she didn't want to take the thing. She pretended she didn't want to get pregnant. So what she did was she went and got the child from her sister, and then she pretended to be pregnant. But what she did, she threw the fruit into the barn and a cow ate it. And then the cow gave birth to a boy with the Gokarna. So then that boy was very pure-hearted and he became exalted. And then, of course, that's a long story, but in the end he comes to the same village and his brother is a ghost hanging around. Because his brother was the step son that the mother raised him into a dacoit like that. Anyway, by reciting, he heard the whole Bhagavatam from his brother and he got liberated. Text 51. Jnanam agyata tadvaya yodadyat satpate mritam kripalo dinanathasya devastasya anugrinate. The narration of Dhruva Maharaj is sublime knowledge for the attainment of immortality. Persons unaware of the absolute truth can be led to the path of truth. Those who out of transcendental kindness take on the responsibility of becoming master protectors of the poor living entities automatically gain the interests and blessings of the demigods. So master protectors means you want to go and help them. Jnanam ajnata means knowledge which is unknown almost throughout the entire world. Basically nobody knows about God. Now everyone is pushing atheism everywhere, right? Even in schools, in covered way. The art of knowledge. They teach this course, but it's all the art of nonsense. How to be a nonsense. The great sage Maitreya therefore recommends that to enlighten people about the absolute truth, tattva, devotees should preach the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the entire world. So that's what we all should be doing. Somehow we should speak from the Bhagavatam for the benefit of others. Somehow, whoever it is, whether your parents, your friends, so anyone who comes to see you, anyone you meet, that you have some relationship, you give them something from the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada continues that saying that Vyasadeva compiled for the people in Kali Yuga actually. Okay? Because people do not know the absolute truth, this Srimad Bhagavatam was specifically compiled by Vyasadeva under the instruction of Narada. Right? What is that verse? Dharmo
Dharmopagade Anishtisa.
No.
Vishwaksena Kadasuya Notpadaya
Krishna Swapada.
Krishna Swadhamapagade Dharmasyanadisa.
Then Kalau
Rastadrushayisham
Puranarko Dunodita.
The bright sun.
Yes. So when people in the Kali Yuga are in ignorance, darkness of ignorance, they can get light from this Bhagavad Purana. They shall get light. It's not that they will get, they shall, because they have to serve it. Like that. So this is the reason why Vyasadeva compiled it. Prabhupada says generally, even though people are interested in understanding the truth, they take to speculation reach at most a conception of impersonal Brahman. But very few men actually know the personality of God here. Therefore, it's so important for them to understand Bhagavatam. Otherwise, generally they become impersonalists. You can see writers, they write a lot of things, then they always end up thinking that there is no physical person God. They say some supernatural energy. Everything is some energy for them. Because it's E equals to MC square. So that's their God. Okay, so therefore Srimad Bhagavatam is important for the general population to hear and understand. But of course Prabhupada says it should be the audience should be favorable also. Okay. So then Prabhupada continues in the next paragraph. Devotional service which leads to the association of Supreme Lord is actual immortality. Pure devotees out of compassion for the fallen souls are Kripalu, very kind to people in general. They distribute this Bhagavata knowledge all over the world. A kind-hearted devotee is called Deenanatha, protector of the poor, ignorant mass of people. Lord Krishna is also known as Deenanatha or Deenabandhu, the master or actual friend of the poor living entities. And his pure devotee also takes the same position of Deenanatha. The Deenanathas or devotees of Lord Krishna who preach the path of devotion service become the favorites of the demigods. So even the demigods become very happy when we preach the glories of the personality of Godhead. Automatically they get pleased. You don't have to do any yagna, karmakanda activities. They are pleased when you preach the glories of the Lord. And the reason is, Prabhupada gives, as by watering the root of a tree, the leaves and branches are automatically watered. So by executing pure devotion service to the Lord, the branches, twigs and leaves of the Lord, known as demigods, are automatically pleased with the devotee and they offer all benedictions. Text 52. Idam maya te vihitam kurudvaha
Idam maya te vihitam kurudvaha
Dhruvasya vikyata vishuddha karmana
Dhruvasya vikyata vishuddha karmana
Hitvarbakha kritana kani matu
Hitvarbakha kritana kani matu
Griham ja Vishnum Sharanam Yojagama
Griham ja Vishnum Sharanam Yojagama.
The transcendental activities of Dhruva Maharaj are well known all over the world and they are very pure. In childhood, Dhruva Maharaj rejected all kinds of toys and playthings like Xbox, left the protection of his mother and seriously took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. My dear Vidura, I therefore conclude this narration, for I have described to you all its details. In the purport, Prabhupada writes, it is said by Chanakya Pandit that life is certainly short for everyone, but if one acts properly, his reputation will remain for a generation. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is everlastingly famous, so the reputation of Lord Krishna's devotee is also everlasting. Therefore, in describing Dhruva Maharaja's activities, two specific words have been used. Vikyata, very famous, and Vishuddha, transcendental. Dhruva Maharaja's living home at a tender age and taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the forest is a unique example in this way. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Dhruva Maharaj Goes Back to Godhead. So we'll stop here. Alright.